What's going on, everybody? D-Money here. This is a special video. Another Magic unboxing video. I haven't done one of these in a long time either, but I picked up something special today, so I figured I would unbox it for you guys. It is the Magic the Gathering Planechase Anthology. Yeah. Anyways, Planechase it had a very limited run. They did 2 sets of 4 decks, and it introduced a very unique mechanic to the game. Just basically an additional variant. So I will show you guys some of the stuff it comes with. It comes with 4 spine down life counters. Come in different colors here. We got orange, purple, green, and blue. And it also comes with a very special 6-sided dice. This guy. There are 2 symbols on this dice. There's the Planeswalker symbol and the Chaos symbol. The reasons behind that I will tell you here shortly. So, this is what made the Planechase unique. You basically have a deck like this. You can see there's quite a few of these, and there are 2 different types of cards in this deck. There is a plane, like that. You can see it's a plane. It says creatures with flying get +2/+0. Creatures without flying get -2. -0, and has the ability with the Chaos symbol I showed you on the dice of whenever you roll the Chaos symbol, target creature gains flying till end of turn. So that's a plane. Then there is the phenomenon, which is this. The phenomenon, it occurs as you draw it. And for example, this particular phenomenon says when you encounter it, each blank roll of the planar dice is a chaos roll until the player planeswakes away from a fate or from a plane. So I'll try to explain this as I can. I never played this particular format. So during your turn, well, the game, I should start over. The game has to start with one of these planes already out, and then during each player's turn, that plane is active on their turn. The abilities can be activated in response to whatever the plane does, all that good shit. But what makes it unique is you get to do this once for free each turn. You get to roll this die. If you roll the Chaos symbol here, it'll activate the Chaos symbol on the plane. As like I said, this particular one says target creature will gain flying until end of turn when you roll Chaos on it. You can roll it multiple times a turn, but for each time you roll it past the first free one, it costs you 1 mana. So if you roll it total 2 times, it costs you 1 mana, 3 times 2 mana, and so on and so forth from there. If you roll the planar die and it lands on this, you would reveal the next card until you reveal another plane. You would either reveal another plane like this one, or another phenomenon. If you can encounter a phenomenon, you have to do what's on the phenomenon card. In this particular instance, let me show you this one here. Okay, so let's say you encounter this one here, Interplanar Tunnel. It says when you encounter Interplanar Tunnel, reveal cards from the top of your planar deck until you reveal 5 planes cards. Put a plane card from among them on the top of the planar deck, and then put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So you would basically reveal 5 cards. You would choose whatever plane is most fitting to you, and you basically would shuffle up or put them in bottom order, and then that card would get revealed, because After you encounter a phenomenon, you planeswalk again, which means you reveal the next card of the planar deck. So it adds a level of strategy. Let me show you some of these other ones here. And for example, some of these phenomenons are not good. Like, where is it? Plane-wide disaster, for example. If you encounter that phenomenon, it destroys all creatures. So that may or may not be useful, but you get the idea. And some of the other planes are kind of cool. For example, and I really don't know how practical this is in some formats, like a plane like Band. It says all creatures have Exalted. Exalted is a feature that says whenever a creature attacks someone, it gets +1/+1 for each instance of Exalted among permanents its player controls. If you roll Chaos on it, you put a divinity counter on target green, white, or blue creature. Any creature has a divinity counter on it is indestructible, which means it cannot be destroyed by anything that says destroy or by taking lethal combat damage. So some of these planes are actually kind of cool to encounter, but I feel like things can get out of hand real quick because you can roll that dice as many times as you want. But that's the gist of the planes and phenomenons aspect. Now, it came with 4 decks. This is the first 4 decks of the Planechase series. This is the first one here with Vela the Nightclad. This deck was essentially a ninja deck. It was something that was only released for this once. That has ninjas. Ninjas are cool, but this is the only time they're released in the game of Magic. So it introduced a concept called ninjutsu, which cards like this guy has, Sakashini's Student. Ninjutsu basically says whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, you can pay the ninjutsu cost, and then you put that creature onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. But the creature has to be unblocked. So let's say you have a 1/1 down that it's going to deal combat damage. In this particular instance, you could pay a colorless and a blue and play this guy instead. And he would be the one dealing combat damage instead of your original creature. It was a very interesting concept. This guy I was showing initially, there are certain creatures that when they enter the battlefield can become a copy of another creature. That's what this one does. There's some really cool tricks you can pull off with this if somebody doesn't block, because there are creatures that can essentially deal lethal combat damage upon dealing combat damage. So it's pretty cool. Then there's this one. When he ninjutsus in and deals combat damage to a player, you get to search your library for a ninja card, reveal, and put it in your hand. So it allows you to tutor for a ninja. So that's kind of cool. This is a rat ninja that when he deals combat damage to a player, you can take a creature out of an opponent's graveyard and put it into play under your control. So the ninjas are really cool. There's this one that when he deals combat damage to a player, you can cast a non-land card from that player's hand without paying its mana cost, and it would be yours. So that was a very cool deck. I actually had bought that one previously, back when Planechase was still around. So that's a duplicate deck for me, but still. And then we got this one, which I'm actually thinking of making a commander deck out of. You have this guy. Dunmark the Insatiable has Devour X, where X is the number of creatures devoured this way. Devour says, as it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. It enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters for each one of those creatures. So what that basically means is, let's say you sacrifice 3 creatures when it comes into play. You would devour 3 creatures and gain 3+1/+1 counters for each creature you devoured. If I'm remembering this right. I'm pretty sure that's right. So the whole point of this deck is devouring stuff. You got things like this. This is a 4/4 that when it dies becomes 2/2/2s, that when those die becomes 2/1/1s. So the entire theme to this deck is a lot of sacrificing effects. This is another Devour creature here. It's a 4/4 Devour 2. So you would put 2 +1/+1 counters for each creature you consume. And it says at the beginning of your upkeep, you create a 1/1 green sapling token for each +1/+1 counter on it. Then you got Prey Caesar Dragon, which is Devour 2, so same Devour effect. And it says when it attacks, it deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it. So as you can see, the deck, or these creatures can make and deal a lot of combat damage real quick. Provided you can actually pull off Devour's shenanigans, which is a little bit harder to do. And it came with a ton of creature tokens because this deck makes a lot of tokens. I didn't open that up yet. Let's see. Alright, then you've got this one. And this is, there are a couple of different there's terminology in Magic. This deck is based around a Voltron feature. And Voltron in the world of Magic means you take one creature and you load up on equipment and enchantments on it. So it's just one creature that just gets built on, like Voltron. This guy is a 6/6 with Flying and Vigilance. If it attacks while it is enchanted, you exile a permanent. Very handy skill. And the entire deck kind of just plays around various enchantments. Like this one here, it gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it. Whenever you cast an aura spell, you may draw a card. An aura is an enchantment that attaches to a creature. I'll give you an example of that here. Something like this. This is an aura enchantment. Attaches to a creature. Enchant creature has lifelink. You can pay 2 and attach it to a target creature control. And it's totem armor. If a creature with totem armor would be destroyed, you move all the damage from it and destroy the aura. So it's pretty cool. And then there's more cards that interact with that. You got the Celestial Elemental that says whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And then you got something like this. It says whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you put a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield. The entire deck is just based around playing enchantments, whether they be static enchantments or like auras. So I actually have a deck that does something similar to that, but not in those colors. Mine's blue and white, and it pretty much plays a lot the same. This is the one that I was actually hoping was in here, because this one's really cool. It's the Maelstrom Wanderer. It is a 7/5. It costs 8 mana. Creatures you control have haste, and when you cast a spell, you cascade twice. When you cascade, you exile a card from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You can play that card for free, and then you put all the other cards you exile on the bottom of your library in random order. When you play the Maelstrom Wanderer, you get to do that twice. So you pay 8 mana, and you get to cast like 3 spells for free. Well, 2 other spells for free, basically. And then there's a lot of cards in here that cascade, basically. This is a repeatable cascade here. It costs 6 mana, and then you can pay 3 to return to your hand, so you can recast it. This one here is kind of cool because it plays with Cascade too. Enigmatic Sphinx. It says, I'm trying to show you a picture of it. When it's put into the battlefield from the graveyard, put it on top of your library, third from the top. So you can potentially cascade into it when it dies. Then it's basically built around bouncing cards back and forth and playing spells for free. There's a card like Sunken Hope. It says at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player returns a creature card they control to their hand. Very interesting card. And then just a lot of random cards that deal with Cascade. And a lot of things like you would want to cascade them because they have additional effects. Like I don't really seem like there's a lot of good examples. I think you should cascade. But cascading is a very powerful effect if you can get it going. You basically just continually cheat spells in for free, and there's not a lot somebody can do about it. I mean, I guess they can counter your counter spells you cast cascade, since you are technically casting them for free, but still a very fun feature to mess around with, to say the least. And that's really it for the Planechase Anthology. I really can't give too much more detail on how the planes and phenomenons thing works. I never really played it. I kind of read over the little instruction thing that came with it and explained it, and I basically gave the information that was on there. So it's an interesting variant. You don't have to play it with 60 card Magic. All of these decks are 60 cards. I play the Commander format, which is all 100 card format, and you can do Planechase with that too. I actually might see if my friends are actually on board with doing that. But that's it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I don't know how many unboxings I'll really get to do in the future, because I just want to do it with special things like this, like I did with From the Vaults last time. This is something that's rather unique. Re-releasing these decks. They haven't been released in probably 4 or 5 years since the last time they were produced. So it's fun, and if I continue getting support on these videos, I'll do more of them as stuff comes out. But I'm only going to do it in rare cases like this, where it's a limited edition re-release, or something like From the Vaults, which only comes around like once or twice a year. Until next time, I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one.